So, as the video title states, if there was a cure to back, neck, arm, stomach, RSI, shoulder, bursitis, ankle, tennis elbow, if there was a cure to all of that, would you do the work? I've mentioned this story in some other videos about the man who told the other man that he knew where all this gold was. And it goes like this. And why is it relevant? I'll tell you in a moment. So a friend goes to a friend and says, I know where there's all this gold and we can go get it. And the friend says, really? Well, what do we have to do to get the gold? And the friend who knows where the gold is, he said, well, we need to go get a shovel and we'll go dig it up. And the other friend says, but do you know what they charge for shovels? What's the moral of the story? Well, if there was a cure to neck, back and arm pain, if there was a way to reduce that suffering and improve your mobility and your quality of life, would you make the effort? Would you be bothered to do what it takes to metaphorically go dig up the gold? Because I get it. I wrote a book called It's Time to Cure Your Neck and Back Pain Forever. And in this book, I've written how I changed my life, changed the way I think, changed the way I do things to end many, many years of suffering. Now, do I get a little bit of pain now and then? Yes. But what do I do to get through it and move from it? There are some things that I do. I keep moving forward. I choose to take care of myself. I choose to think differently about what the pain is. But I get it. I get it that if you are suffering with pain, it's very, very hard to break free of that. And the reason why I'm motivated to do this video is because I just received another message on my YouTube channel about a very kind gentleman talking about how he has got this form of back pain and he's got anxiety disorder and he's got that. And I respect what that is like. I've experienced it, and from time to time I still experience it. However, why am I sharing this with you? Well, because I have written this book and I get a lot of responses and people asking me about their back pain and can they cure it. But how many books do you think people have purchased? Now, I'm not here to necessarily want to sell heaps of books. It'd be nice for the work, but I wrote this book to put down what I learned on my own journey about how to cure neck and back pain, how to go dig up the gold and show you where the gold is. And what's the digging? It's reading the book and doing it. Now you get it, right? But coming back to it is, I went and sent this link to a lot of people, and how many do you think purchased the book? Well, less than the amount that should have. Now, respectfully to you, if you're watching this and if you've got pain, and here I'm talking about buying a book that could help you, whether it's my book or Dr. John Sarno, who really founded the whole concept of TMS and tension mind syndrome, tension myositis syndrome, which is the connection of the mind and the body and what it does to create pain in the body. And if you don't already know his work, I'd highly recommend that you take a look at John Sarno if pain is something that you're dealing with and you would like to move forward and you've had enough and you want to get that monkey off your back. Check out John Sarno. I've got a link of this book below. I write about it there. But coming back to the story, if you are struggling with pain, if you are dealing with neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, stomach pain, RSI, what if it was a pain that was being caused by your mind cutting off oxygen to the body? It's a whole other conversation if you don't already know about TMS and how it works. But what if it was caused by something other than some supposed perceived pressing on something or something that isn't, it's degenerated in the body? What if it was something different? And also, on an addendum on that, I recently have had an issue with my shoulder here. Now, I believe there are times where we do actually have things that break in our body, wear and tear, just like a car. You're driving that car all the time. Brakes are going to wear down, engine's going to need repairing. I think the body is the same. But I also think there are times where we have pain in the body, lower back pain, pain stabbing in our back, that very often come from the things that we're trying to process mentally, past and present, and the stresses of life. I'm not suggesting don't go and get the good work from a physio or an osteo or something to relieve that tension, but also consider how you're thinking about life, how you're doing life physically and mentally, because I know on my own journey with all those pains, high achiever, A-type personality, past trauma, looking at these things, letting those go and working on how to actually do things differently to let the pain go out of our body. Okay, so coming back to why would someone not read a book to cure their pain, to let you off the hook and maybe have you consider a different belief if you want to cure your pain? Believing if there's even gold there. Could you even be bothered to invest into something like a shovel, i.e. a book, to go and study and learn to find the gold? Because if you're believing it's a physical condition, the chances are you doing it, it's a bit like believing that there's no gold there, so why bother? So considering changing the beliefs. There could be gold there, and if I don't go and dig, then I've got no chance of finding it. The effort involved. I'm in pain, I'm struggling already, and you want me to read a book and study? I get it. I have been there. It's exhausting. I really respect that. It's debilitating trying to just do the basic things in life, and then some blonde idiot on YouTube telling you to go read a book and study. I get it. I get it. But what I would suggest is, what if you just took a look? If we can find money to invest in alcohol and food and get all these RSI and RMI scans, whatever they're called, $30 to buy a book and just to open one page, have a little look, trick our brain, have a little look, not this big overwhelming thing, just a little bit of a look. And maybe over time, we'll take more of a look and more of a look. You don't have to cure everything in 5 minutes. If you've been dealing with pain and suffering for years and years, it could take a little while. But what if it was a little step in a different direction? So baby steps. The work and effort, as I've just talked about, little steps. And going against the grain. I get it. You've got a whole medical system. You've got body treatment specialists telling you that this is pressing and that's tweaking, and then you're going to go against all these experts by thinking that it could be a mental condition. I get it, right? You go and tell a doctor, no disrespect, maybe some doctors would get it, and I think there is a change going on in the medical profession, but you may be met with some resistance. What? Your pain's caused because of some life trauma or stress, or you hanging on too tightly? It's because you sit at the desk in an incorrect position and you are having an issue because of some degeneration. That's why you have pain. And then you go and say, but what if it's because of all the trauma I've felt in the past, or how I do life, always trying to be a perfectionist and always wanting to do the best? Many people go, buddy, you need some help, right? So I get it, going against the grain. But as I wrote in the book, no disrespect, but the medical profession once believed that you should smoke because it's good for you. And the medical profession once believed that there was no such thing as germs. Now, again, I take my hat off and respect the good work that medical professionals do and physical treatment specialists do, the years of study and effort. All I'm saying is, what if you could do that and consider and invest in buying the shovel and going and just taking a little bit of a look, a little bit of a dig to see if there is some gold there. What's the worst that would happen? Just go back to how you were doing it. But what if it was a different way of doing things and you might find some relief? Now, look, with all of this, there is also the thing that I'll close off on and I'll wrap it up. There is a thing called taking responsibility. And I know how tough it can be when we've been stuck in a certain way of doing things physically and mentally. The brain hates change, even if we know it's really bad for us, right? If there's been an issue with eating and there's an overweight concern, to then start wanting to eat less and exercise, the brain hates change. It'll try and keep us there. And for whatever the underlying reason is that someone could be overeating, self-esteem, past trauma, protection. I get these things are heavy, hard things to deal with. So all I'm suggesting is there is a thing called responsibility. Now, I'm not talking about myself here to praise myself or anything. I'm not overeating and never not exercising and taking care of my body, because there is things called taking responsibility of ourselves, cause and effect. You don't take care of yourself, you eat all the bad foods, and then you wonder why the body's breaking. Well, it's a bit like having a car, never tuning it, leaving the oil in it till it runs down. It's going to break down. So there is a thing called taking responsibility. So thank you for watching. My name's Trevor Russell. If you would like to do a bit of digging and see if there's some gold in this for you to feel better, to start moving towards cure, focusing more on what you could do as cure as opposed to all the symptoms, just give it 30 days. Give it 30 days, have a read, focus on what you could be doing differently. Leave all the symptoms. If it's meant to be there, if you think it is, it'll be there, but just leave it. Focus on the cure. What could you do to get some better thinking going? Letting go of some things, possibly even getting some therapy and talking through some things that you're struggling with. Because I've put a little checklist in this book of all the potential things that could be contributing to our physical pain because of what's going in our life, past and present. It's in there. Then there's a plan for what you can start doing to get a better feeling going on, to hopefully release the grip of pain and get yourself moving again. And that's what I wish for you. Thank you for watching. Love to hear your comments, any questions you've got. I've put a link of the book below, and I wish you well. One step at a time. Be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. It is very challenging, I know, when you're in physical pain, but many of us have gone on to let go of it, get a different perspective. And if we all can, I'm sure you can too. Have a wonderful day. Speak soon. Ciao for now.